I'm going to talk with Amani Toomer now, NBC Sports Radio, the 24/7 live sports talk network, which you can listen to at NBCSportsRadio.com. Download their mobile app today. Amani, welcome aboard, pal. How you been?
I've been good. I've been really good.
Probably a busy day. A guy who played in New York for a while, played with Eli Manning, and yesterday, the news came down that Eli is going to be benched. Now, it's an interesting situation. I guess they offered him the chance to start. He declined. They're going to go with Geno Smith. You played with Eli. You've won with Eli. How do you think this has been handled?
Horribly. I mean, if you're going to bench Eli, he's a grown man. Bench him. Don't say, oh, you know what? Well, maybe if you want to start, we're just going to bring these other – don't do that. That would diminish his record of consecutive start, and that would demean him. I just think it's a horrible idea. Whoever thought of that is the dumbest idea ever. We're going to start just so you can get a record that means I don't know what. But, we don't want to try and win this game. For Ben McAdoo to come out in front on a press conference and say, we think Geno Smith gives us the best opportunity to win, that, to me, is one of the worst things I've heard all year. Don't spit in my face and tell me it's rain. That is not even close to the truth. And nobody believes.
Amani, obviously.
So the Giants fans, it's crazy.
Yeah, obviously the team's 2-9. They're out of the playoffs. You got a 36-year-old quarterback. Is it the right move but the wrong execution?
I think it's a move that if you make it, I would understand it. But if it's a move that you pussyfoot around it, I don't agree with it. I don't think he gives you. I don't think that Eli is the scapegoat, which is in essence he's become. I don't think he's the scapegoat for this situation, and it's just sad that the Giants have decided to make it out to be that Eli is the reason why the team is losing.
Right. They're obviously they got a lot of injuries. They've got a lot of issues on that team, and the team is certainly not very good right now. Do you think Eli is done in New York? Does he move on and play someplace else?
I think he does, and it's sad. I don't think this is the way it should have happened. I think he should have been able to play out the string, kind of like Derek Jeter was with the Yankees. He was terrible at the end, but they still stuck with him. And it's not like they have anything to lose. With the Giants, they're not going to win any games. They should have let him play out the string, and maybe if you want to pull him in some fourth quarters when the game's out of hand, that's fine. But to go in there and say that you're trying to win, it's really bad, and I think he deserved better than that. But this game is not nice to anybody. When they got rid of Joe Montana and Peyton Manning, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, that's kind of the nature of the beast in the NFL.
Amani Toomer is with us. So let me get your opinion on this. Does the coach go to somebody and say, this is what's on my mind? Does ownership say, hey, coach, because the coach isn't on the solid footing to begin with. I can't imagine he just roguely made this decision himself.
I think it's a Jerry Reese decision. I think it's a decision where he's like, look, I want to be able to show when I'm sitting there trying to defend my job at the end of the year when they're reevaluating, I want to say, look, if we would have pulled Eli earlier, we would have won some games. And he wants to try and win a couple games with Davis Webb and with Geno Smith. Yeah. So I think it's a last ditch Hail Mary, and it's Jerry Reese trying to save his job, and it's Ben McAdoo trying to save his job as well. I think it's despicable what they're doing, but that's the business of the NFL.
It is, and Amani, you obviously played with Eli. Just the way he's handled this. He was given the opportunity to play. He declined. He decided, look, I'll let those guys play. He was obviously emotional about it yesterday. How do you think Eli, a guy that you played with, how do you think he handled this situation yesterday?
I think he led the organization into benching him. I mean, it's just sad that it just reminds me like like a Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago, or like the Cleveland Browns, like one of these teams that's never won a Super Bowl, one of these teams that's never been any good consistently because of the decisions that the ownership makes. This ownership group has made great decisions over a long period of time, and I think the fact that the owner was busy, wasn't there that day. I mean, that to me is a big deal in the organization when Eli has to move on, and you're moving on from Eli. I think the owner and everybody should just, have a conversation with him at one point in time during that day. I understand he's going to have a conversation with him today, but I don't know. I still think it's a little bit of a raw deal.
Spending some time with former Giant Super Bowl champion Amani Toomer, NBC Sports Radio. The Eagles play the Seahawks this week. I want to get your insight on this matchup because really Seattle is not a playoff team right now. They need to win this game. Philly's got its toughest stretch here, Amani. They're going to travel out west for 2 straight weeks, Seattle, L.A. They're playing for home field. So kind of give me your skinny on this matchup.
And this is going to be a huge test for this team because they've had success beyond what they thought they were going to have in L.A. And we're talking about the Eagles, yeah. And so they're gonna have to, on the road, come together. We're gonna see what they have. I mean, they were electric slide and they were doing all this stuff. Okay, now they're gonna play some teams with little bite. They're not playing against a team that's downtrodden. They're playing against a team with some bite. And it's very interesting to see how this whole thing works out because there's one thing that does always consistently happen, in my opinion, in the NFL. And that is teams become humble. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
they get humbled, and I like the Eagles. I like Carson Wentz, and we're going to see if this is their opportunity because playing against the Seattle Seahawks, man, in Seattle, that place is ridiculous to play. They're going to have crowd noise they've never even experienced before. It's going to be a tough deal for them up there.
All right, that's Sunday night right here on 97.3 ESPN. The Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6 right now. Amani Toomer, NBC Sports Radio, the 24/7 live sports talk network, which you can listen to at NBCSportsRadio.com. He works there with my pal Dan Schwartzman. Tell Dan I said what's up, Amani, and happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week, pal.
Okay, thanks a lot. We sure did. Thank you.